There's only one way to start.
The defenders that have performed at VVD's level is Rio, John Terry, and Vidic. I mean, how long are we going to act like this guy's a top striker, man? Champions League final.
We got to the Champions League final and lost to Liverpool. I'm cool. I've accepted that. I moved on.
Worst week ever as a Spurs fan. I
think the most pertinent issue that we can discuss, and I've said that I'm not.
Guy loves a big word.
That's the dumbest thing you've said on this podcast. You just said
I was about to say, I'm
Spurs
cool
are
with
in
that.
turmoil. You know you want to say it. Don't let him press you.
Get 20% off all Manscaped products plus free shipping with the promo code STTV.
Welcome back to another episode of Stoppage Time TV. We're live in the flesh, live and direct in effect. You already know what time it is. If you can feel a different energy in the air, it's not because Fuad's not here, it's because we're recording at a respectable hour for once. you know like that. Early doors, you know like that. That's what fixture change can do. It can make things in your life appear a bit different. But before we go any further, just want to say a big thank you to all of you people that, tune in every week. But I do have a request. We have around 7-point-something K subscribers, and we tend to have more views than that. So that means that either some of you are watching over and over again, or some of you are not subscribed. So if that is the case, please subscribe. Please like. If you listen to this audially, please leave a rating, 5 stars. Tell us what you like about it. If you have any complaints, I'm sure there's an email somewhere. Send that to production. They'll sort that out. But please continue to support, continue to push the Stoppage Time brand and support us individually as well. Make sure you're following Culture Cams, YouTube, Dos Locos, the group chat. I'm missing something. Proofs in the Puds. Make
all
sure you
platforms, mate.
Make sure that on all platforms. Make sure you're following Fuad Kadani on all platforms.
Late, bruv. Late.
Make sure you're following him on all platforms as well.
Behavior,
What you said? Unprofessional.
Unprofessional behavior, bruv.
But that's what discipline. Today is discipline. You've got your chosen weapon as well. Today is discipline hours. But yeah, without further ado, let's get the show rolling. Remember, this show is, powered by Manscaped. Hold tight the sponsor. 20% off STTV. You already knew that though, because when the show comes on, we have the lovely sort of the effect that says that. But let's get into it, man. Hold tight the 3-point collectors. If you collected any 3 points at any time this week, hold tight the next round qualifiers. Hold tight the remainers. Hold tight the Brexiters, the man them that are leaving Europe. Hold tight. How do I go about this? Have you got any hold tights? Because you was funny that day, so you had a few.
I'm
lines.
chilling, mate. No hold tights for me, mate.
Hold tight. Hold tight the man. Hold tight the man on the wing.
Yeah,
obviously. Hold tight.
true.
Hold tight. Bang your doors and that. Bang your
I mean,
tactics. You know them
words,
ones.
Bang your doors.
Fam, real talk. You can lock the lock, but you
can't stop the clocks.
You can't stop the
You
clock.
can't
Freedom's
stop
a
the
must.
clocks.
Freedom's a must. Hold tight the strikers playing for Muse. Hold tight the strikers that want Muse now. Subsequently.
Let's get into it.
Hold tight the teams that are living up to their heritage. There's a lot of hold tights in it, but I'm beating around the bush. How are you?
Hey, bro. Another week as a Spurs fan. It is what it is, man. Talk to me.
I was expecting you to talk to me. Yeah.
One of them ones. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is what it is, bro. Like, shit week in North London derby. Absolute shit show to start the week. And then midweek, obviously 2-0 up in the European fixture, going out to a manager who's in prison, getting hat-tricked by guys,
Number 99,
brother, it's
pro clubs
sick,
things.
It's
He
crazy.
looks hard,
And it's,
though.
Pro clubs thing, 99.
it's like it's one thing to kind of like go out the way we did. It's the manner for me. It's the manner we lost the North London derby. It's the manner we've lost the FA Cup, and that's kind of like where I feel like now Jose's in trouble. That's where it's like now you were here to change the mentality. You were here to improve the defensive side of things. You were here to kind of push us to try and win a silverware if we're not going to do anything domestically. And 2-0 up, I'm sorry, but crumbling away 3-0 like that, under no circumstances is that acceptable. And then, like, that's on Jose, but then the players as well. I don't want to give them the free pass of it's just the manager and the way he set them up. Brother, you've still got to fight. These men are earning 70, 80, 100k or whatever. The bare minimum is to put the effort in. Even if you're not playing for the manager, play for the badge. I know it's cliche, but brother, you still play for the badge.
Turn up to work, baby.
Fam, the bare minimum. And we haven't seen that in the North London derby when it matters the most. And in a European fixture where you're 2-0 up. Take into account, you're going into half-time 0-0 still. So you're conceding 3 goals in 15 minutes. That is vintage Spursy. That's crumbling. That's bottling. Everything you've been kind of trying to duck and dive, and Dyer's been saying we've changed our mentality. No, you're still here, bro.
Can I ask you both a question? Because I was thinking about some of the stuff you said. I was thinking about kind of the season and comments we've had about the teams. Do you feel like because of the way the season is and there's football on all the time, that it's very easy to kind of not really see moments for what they are? Because we've come in and had moments where it's like Spurs, doing well. There was the pundit saying Spurs are going to win the league. Then it flipped. Then it was like, okay, you know what, we're back on track. Then we're here. Do you feel like because maybe we're in a microwave sort of season where everything's just bam, 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 we very easily forget the consequence of what's really going on? Because one thing you've been consistent about, which isn't just tied to this season, is you think Jose's done. Another thing that people have been consistent about is even though Spurs are doing well and everything, and there's the whole 1-2 punch thing, Jose, in terms of his tactics, is still the same. It's still defensive minded. But is there that sort of thing that because we might see those 3 games where you guys won in a week, it's like, oh my gosh, everything's sick. And then we come to this week where it's 2 losses in the week and it's like, oh my gosh, this is how it really is. Is that a factor?
I think it's the chaotic factor for me. That's what I think. I think this season is arguably the most chaotic for every team, you would say. You go on 3-game spell where it's like, yo, it's looking up, it's looking rosy, and then 4 games where you'll lose on a bounce, get bounced out of a cup, and it's like, it's the
you
end
guys
of the world.
have something. It was the week before the Champions
Sheffield
League knockout. It was like, I can't remember exactly what happened, but there was a high. And then straight afterwards, it was that Champions League week, and then you guys were out.
Man.
But even for Chelsea, like the week of Lampard, and then Tuchel comes in, and since then it's been like 10 weeks of. So it's chaos. Every team's had that up and down. For us, it's just classic where pre-December we always look amazing, but then post-February everything just seems, the house seems to crumble down. And Pochettino, I don't know if you lot remember, All or Nothing said this in the documentary. He's like, yo, if the foundations of the house ain't set, it's all going to come crumbling down. And then they said to him, are you talking about Tottenham? And he said, no, in general. But you knew exactly what he meant. And this is it happening now. It's like the crisis we was talking about last year, it's still that. It's still the hangover from that is still ongoing. And Jose has to deal with that now. For me, it's a case of long term now, it's where it's looking bleak for Spurs. Like, what do you do now? What Kane and Son situation? How do you handle that? Everybody's worrying about Kane, but Son's got 1 year less on his deal. Son's 1 year older. Everybody's just turning a blind eye to Son, not realizing he might be the one to actually leave this summer. But listen, it's as the intro says, worse week as a Spurs fan.
We got to update it.
We got to update that.
The graphic.
2021 edition.
The other thing I was going to say as well is because in general, like a lot of fans, I mean, we've seen tons of videos this week, like a lot, what will happen is a trauma will happen, and then in the moment, it's kind of like, get rid of the manager, get rid of the players, get rid of the board. And I mean, I jokingly said it in the group, but I was like, okay, if you do all of that, are you going to go and play centre mid for your club? Or are you going to, invest 10 million to buy new players and
club,
stuff?
bro.
Yeah, but this is, so what I want to ask is, as a fan, like, of course that we come in, we say things, and I'm not expecting you to have all of the answers, but in your opinion as Fuad, what are the steps that need to be taken now? Because I have my own viewpoints from the outside looking in. I always felt that, I think I said it here before, because Spurs overachieved and they didn't back that man who was overachieving and continued like this was your normal state, you've then gone to a situation where you've brought in a manager that's going to win at all costs. And we know Jose's a narcissist. If Jose wins that Carabao Cup, he's going to convince your fans that, listen, I did this. You guys haven't won anything. I
don't think it's going to be enough.
Around, but that's his message.
Even for Levy, though, I don't think it's going to be enough. Purely because of the manner we went out in the Europa, the manner we went out in the FA Cup, the manner we lost the North London derby. And if this, let's say this back end of the season, we continue and finish like 9th or 10th, there is no way Levy can defend paying this man as the highest manager. Like, it's egg on his face. And Levy, one thing I know about him, he's ruthless. So I think he if this summer comes, I say you give Jose to the Carabao Cup, and if he wants to try and make a push like last year, he's galvanized a worse team last year. Give him till the end of the season, I would say. But then at the end of the season, I think inevitably he's going to chop him. And I think the biggest, it's the most unkept secret where we're going for Nagelsmann. Like, let's be real. Spurs are going to try, whether they're going to get him or not, is a whole different conversation. But it's almost like, I feel like it's inevitable.
So this is where, and we don't have to go too deep into it. You probably know. In Jose's last managerial appointments, how many of them has he not been sacked in?
He gets sacked in all of them, innit?
The thing is,
so you hire this guy, you pay him loads of money, and it's not me getting at Jose.
Jose doesn't. The thing is, what you're saying, Jose doesn't leave. Except when he left Real Madrid to go to Chelsea, Jose doesn't leave at the end of the season. Jose gets sacked. Jose doesn't do like
the only thing
we're gonna see it out to end the season because it always blows up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But the only difference I would say with this situation is I think there's more issues at fault with the failure than just Jose himself.
No, I'm
I think at previous clubs, at Chelsea though, you were winning the title and then all of a sudden it's the capitulation. United, you were second, competing for silverware, capitulate. With us, it was like, hey, it was kind of pretty much the same story as last year. So for me, that's why I feel like there's bigger factors than Jose than saying
100%. But this is why I want to connect the dots. So my personal opinion has always been that even because you've mentioned all or nothing, I'll mention it here. All Levy spoke about was we need to win. We need to win. We can't be doing this without winning. We need to win. We need to win. My whole thing was that was like a do or die situation where it's like, you know what? We want to do anything to win the trophy, so we'll bring this man in. It doesn't matter what happens. What he didn't account for is it can go really bad. And then the other side of that is if you're putting that much money into this guy, he's the most paid. You've given him how many years of contract? When he gets sacked, he gets his compensation, and you have to keep paying him.
They're gonna have to put him on gardening leave.
Exactly, no. But in terms of you have to pay the remaining when you sack someone
until he gets a new job.
So that's an outgoing spend that then eats into what else you're doing because you want to try and bring in a new manager, new players. I don't feel like sometimes those decisions are thought about when you do something like this. Now, don't get me wrong, it's all or nothing, but you're not thinking about the nothing.
You always think optimistically when you do these things.
And I feel like what you said, you've articulated it so well. I feel like maybe at the beginning, even if it was just a Carabao Cup, he would have taken it. But not with all of the explosion that's happening right now.
It's all the bombs that have gone off throughout the season. So it's kind of like, how do you stick with it type of thing? And I feel like if RB Leipzig kind of don't win the title, I know it's unlikely anyway, but they're in that race. I think Nagelsmann might see it as an opportunity to leave. And who knows? He might think, listen, it's a big platform. It's an opportunity for me to do something. And he might take the opportunity. But I think it's slim pickings. We've kind of left ourselves in a situation where now the squad is bad. I think the board have kind of mismanaged the club, I feel like, the last 4 or 5 years. And then the manager's now kind of caught in the middle and is the easiest scapegoat to kind of throw out. And the way the season's gone, I don't blame the chairman if he does do that, but we're in a mess at the minute.
For me, you see with the whole, they made a new stadium, right? And obviously they tried to go and probably bless the stadium with trophies quickly or whatever. Spurs are just going to have to accept that didn't work out. And they're just going to have to try and get a manager in, a younger kind of manager with an idea to build kind of a legacy on what this new White Hart Lane or whatever it's called is going to be. I don't see the Jose trying to quickly come and win. It's not happening. It's not going to work. You know what I mean? So I think they need to get someone. What's going to happen now?
Avon.
What's going to have to happen now is they're just going to have to accept. Yeah, they're just going to have to accept that this period didn't work out. Their greatest period ever gave them no trophies, and it's gonna have to rebuild the club. Jose Mourinho is not gonna rebuild no football club, and I've said it many, many times. He's not rebuilding any fucking club. He's just gonna come in, try and win, then he's gonna blow the ship up. Everyone's gonna get blamed. There's gonna be Jose ins and Jose outs. Then there's gonna be fans that when Jose leaves, there's gonna be a bunch of fans who are gonna be blaming every single player and saying, you know what, this is what Jose said about these guys. And it happens at every club. I can't believe that anyone actually thought this was gonna work out. I actually just can't believe it. So get rid of him, get someone else in, and you're gonna have to just start again. Because I'm telling you, this rebuild will never happen with Jose Mourinho.
That's what I think.
Not even to interrupt you, but I remember when it did happen, we did raise the point that I think you said that you don't believe that he's at that top level anymore. which might be fair, but I feel like the general consensus was maybe Spurs level is his level right now. There was conversations about that. So when this happens, what conversation does that bring now?
I don't know what's next for Jose Mourinho.
It's like if Ancelotti fails at Everton, they both kind of hit this limbo space of they've managed every single top club and top league. Like, what other achievements do you have left to unlock? Type?
You guys should be trying to get an Ancelotti.
I was going to say, do you know I think it's a little bit different though? Because you see with Ancelotti and Everton, what is the parameter of success there?
Nothing. He's just vibing.
It's less. It's just be the best of the rest. It's like if they qualify for Europa, it's a success, really.
He's just there, and you know what it is, It's hard because, as we said, football's moving younger. Teams ain't that great, so it's not even like I look at any club in the world and I think, oh, Jose there, calm. Like Zidane leaves, oh, Jose goes to Madrid. I don't see it.
That's
no one's ready for me.
Reruns at Inter, reruns at what's his name. But if he was to stay next season, for example, I can't see. The issues I can see is Levy, I don't think will back him. And if he doesn't, I can see Jose throwing his toys out the pram, similar to like his last season at United. And I think the Spurs fans will get even more anxious, and especially if they're coming back into the stadiums next season. Lord have mercy.
Bro,
the noise
imagine all them
crazy.
boos that would have...
It's going to be crazier than ever, So for me, I think the pressure will crank up even more. And then you kind of risk almost toxicating next season, if that makes sense, and then missing out on Nagelsmann or missing out on another manager in the summer. So
I just think, with like, because as I said, there's not like ready-made jobs in it like out there anymore. And what we got to remember is when Jose first came to football, all right, he did his thing with Porto. He had that instant respect that you remember when Lampard and them lot used to speak and say that Jose told them straight away, oh, you're going to be champions. Like, and they're like, but look at his record. You know what I mean? He's a treble, just coming as a treble winner and stuff. You know what I mean? He's different. So when you look at that, he had that instant respect. You can go and do it. Real Madrid are the first club who looked at man and was like, you're not as bad as you think you are, bro. You need to settle down a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were the first club to kind of give him that chink in his armor. Do you know what I mean?
The semi-final constant.
Was
like because they were looking for La Decima desperately.
And then big legends, Ronaldo, Ramos, and them, man. I look at him like, yo, we're big dogs as well. We're not no baby Lampard and baby John Terry and that didn't know nothing. We're big dogs. You know what I mean? So from there, they started getting at him. Then it went to Chelsea or whatever, and again, it happened again. Not saying them players were on the level of Ramos and stuff, but whatever happened. But you got to remember, this is a new generation and new people. Most of them are just seeing Jose as this kind of whiny, washed-up Jose. This isn't the special one no more.
But
this is all of these stuff don't work no more.
No, I hear that.
It doesn't work.
And I agree with that. And I feel like he's had to, especially in this job, try and adapt that more than ever. But I feel like what you said there hit the nail on the head. These previous clubs, you've got these Ramoses. You've got even the Uniteds. You've got certain players who've won things. You don't have that at Spurs. These men have no reason not to buy in.
But I get
these
that.
men have no reason not to kind of at least follow and see, yo, you know what? He's actually done something. You man have achieved nothing.
Yeah, I get that, right? But what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say is, even though you say that, their recollection of Jose is still, he can talk about what he's won it's in the past though. It's like distant past. When Jose was at the top, it was time ago now, bro.
What, 6 years ago?
Football moves quickly, bro. You know what I mean? Someone like what you're gonna remember of Jose Mourinho more is the meltdowns and the outbursts and all that type of stuff. That's just the way it is, bro. And that's how it is. Look at when Jose got announced. Look when Jose got announced. What did Winks do?
Throughout his whole time at Spurs, every time we've had a loss or anything like that, it's been quickly get onto Jose. And I feel like the media has kind of created that now. And I'm not saying Jose, I've never come in here and said he's got a clean record and he's perfect. Brother, he's got issues as well. But I feel like every single opportunity the media or anyone has had to throw him under the bus, it's been the easy scapegoat. And I'm there's bigger issues than just Jose.
100%. I'll ask you this, though. As a Spurs fan, someone that's been following Spurs super fan.
Easy.
This whole sort of Spurs mentality and it's Spurs, the history of Spurs and everything, do you think that weighs heavily on the players?
100%.
But how much of a factor do you think that is? Because is it... Basically, what I'm trying to ask you is, do you think it's a cop-out? Do you think it's an actual thing? Like, it's a substantial thing?
It's a mental thing. It's 100% it's a mental thing. And it's like, when you've got bad luck or when you're just kind of going through a bad patch, any kick that goes against you, as soon as that first rocket went in, every Tottenham fan kind of knew, here we go. It's already begun. And the negative mindset starts to kick in. And I feel like players, when they play for the club, they know that. They know the lack of trophies. They know the Spursy mentality. Cellini's quote now gets thrown around weekly. So it's like, you can't avoid these things. These players are on social media more than ever. So I feel like mentally, it's definitely going to affect them. And they always, at every point we've seen it over the last couple of years, when they've needed to step up to the occasion, they've crumbled because of that. The weight is too much for me. That's how I see it. And it's like, it's going to take someone. And I thought Jose was of that mindset and mold of he can come and actually tell these man, now I can break this spell. But brother, at this point, this is where I'm at. I don't know what it's going to take.
What, to break that mentality?
I'm genuinely
is that the
lost.
bottom line,
The bottom line right now, I don't know whether it's a board takeover, some magical generational talent coming through. I don't know what it's going to take.
Scarlet, innit?
Brother.
Listen, bro.
We'll come back in 2 years.
No, but you know what? I feel like everyone at the club is just fed up as well. You hear Lloris speak; he just seems like he's fed up with it now. Harry Kane,
he's won his World
there's
Cup,
rumors that he's fed up of it now. I just think, I don't know, man.
Like,
I just think it's over
men,
now.
I remember been here 5-6 years. They're not in the mood for another rebuild.
Exactly.
They're not here trying to hear this. Like guys like Lloris, I felt like that was him almost signing off.
Yeah.
He
was like,
sense.
this
he
is
was
dead. Like
these men in these dressing rooms do
Ericsson
not
had
want
the
it.
right idea, you know.
Bro,
Nothing's
he
happened
did.
for him, but
Ericsson had the right idea for real. But
Yeah, 300 bags, he's laughing.
listen, and he's gonna win the league. So it is what it is. But listen, that's why I said this is what's gonna happen. And when you look at it now, you're talking about like Kane and Son and all this type of stuff. Where do you see it? We spoke about it a little bit on Dos Locos, but where do you see, what do you think is going to happen with Kane?
With Kane, I think he stays at least another year.
Do you think by his will, or do you think Levy holds him down?
I don't think he's the type of character to come out and say, I want a transfer request, I want to leave the club. So he'll bite his tongue and kind of play through it. And I think he's professional enough to play through it. It's Harry Kane. That's it at the end of the day.
I think he's going to say it. I think personally, I think
next year's the year he does that. I don't reckon. This year he tells the agent, go and put the shit out. Next year I'll come out, because next year he's got 2 years left and he becomes in a position of strength. Then it just becomes a ticking time bomb. That's where Son is entering this summer, I feel like, and he's turning 29. So it's like he's thinking, what am I here for? You think I'm trying to wait for another Nagelsmann rebuild? Nah.
But the thing is, I think he's going to be in a position. I think behind closed doors this season, he's gonna say to the club.
No, you're just on this Kane campaign. Shit. Listen, just get it out. Just get it out. Just come on, get to it, Cam. We already know.
That's a chop.
That's what you know. Like, no, his agent. I think he's gonna. You want it, bro? Kane campaign. Say it.
That's funny. That's some funny shit. Still.
Listen. Behind closed doors,
we got it.
That is so funny.
Nah, listen, behind closed doors, I think he's just gonna do it. Bro, think about it. Why would Harry Kane stay? Why would he want to stay another year, 2 years? Why would you?
By force.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be by force.
It's going to be by force.
I think he's going to I think he's going to publicly say, not publicly, privately say to the club he wants to leave.
He's staining too much.
He's turning 28.
He's staining. This summer. There's too much to stain for what he's done at Tottenham, for how high he's held in regard at Tottenham and the Tottenham fans. I don't think he would throw that away for a potential United move or a City move. Like City are going to go get half.
What the hell? Big clubs.
Big clubs.
That's where Harry Kane wants to be. I told man, listen.
The campaign. We going. Let's go,
Let me tell you. I already said it, yeah. But everything makes sense for him to finally fulfill his destiny. Do you know what I mean? And come to where he is meant to be. Yeah, of course. Think about it. If Harry Kane comes to United, that's a momentum shift, bro.
Listen, if City are going to go and get Haaland...
You're saying what, Van Persie?
No. I hear that.
City will not spend 100 million. We're the club that do that shit.
What you're all talking about, 30 years. We've gone past that.
What? That doesn't make sense.
The years are gone. Now
that doesn't make sense. We're still in a better position than you guys. A much better position.
Yeah,
much better. I'm sorry, it's night and day now.
Couple wins and we're close, but
you're not close.
I feel like if City go and get Haaland, that's them making us. I feel like Liverpool, if they want to make a
Liverpool are never making that signing.
Hey,
Liverpool are never making. I know you want to distance it.
Lewandowski.
I know you want to distance
it. Who made Lewandowski? Who found Lewandowski?
How old was he?
Did he spend 100 million on Lewandowski? Did he spend that money on Lewandowski?
That's a different sort of.
It's a whole different scenario.
Listen, if
you
they're talking
can
about
try
they want to
around the bush.
evolve Firmino,
he wants to stop the campaign. I'm telling you.
I'm just saying.
We're getting him in office,
if they're
bro.
talking about
We're getting him in
Firmino,
office
let's
like
get
Joe
him out of
Biden.
here.
I told
False 9. You want to get a real 9? There's your real 9.
Listen,
but
no, Liverpool
United,
not spending that
that's
money.
Sideways step right now.
Liverpool, this guy thinks Spurs and United are on the same level.
No.
Deluded.
I mean, like
You're
for
deluded.
what
I'm
you're
telling you right now.
Are you competing for the league?
Huh?
Are you competing for the league?
If we get Harry Kane, we will. What the hell are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? He's in
wait,
oblivion. You're about to go into oblivion. I told you this already.
Wait. But is he not? Are you not the same guy who told me Harry Kane is now his physical is going to be declining?
Hey, 2-3 years of Harry Kane, that would do us very nice. Very, very nice.
So
remember, I told you I think Harry Kane's going to be done out by 30.
So can we acknowledge all the slander you've been putting on Harry Kane for the last 2 years?
We've spoken about that already. See how I'm trying to bring that back. Can you remember?
Kane campaign. You see the politics. You see the politics.
Hey, what happened to Jose Way? It's not in your bio no more.
It's done. It's done.
What happened to Jose Way? Huh?
It's over.
There we go.
The party's over. We can come clean.
What happened to Jose Way? Yeah, you come clean.
Hey,
Kane campaign. Kane campaign. Campaign Kane. I'm telling you right now. Listen.
What do we want?
Kane.
When
do we want it? No.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, it's gonna happen.
With the draw, I know there's been conversations about, and I don't want to go into it because I know you've spoken about it already. I know there's been conversations about Europa League. Your draw, it looks favourable. If you won it, it's a good. Could it be a good season? What's your thoughts on it? Essentially,
I think we should be the favourites. We should be the favourites. Unfortunately, the team that are meant to be the favourites are out, but we're meant to be the favourites. But it's one of them ones.
Favourites,
huh?
You always the favourites from when you dropped in.
No. Because remember, you wanted to draw us because it would have been easier tie.
But media and bookies had you favourites. But bookies.
No. But remember, you wanted to draw us because
media and bookies had you favourites.
Hopefully we avoid Zagreb. You know what I mean? But
they're ducking pressure.
Hopefully we avoid Zagreb.
You see the same way they were ducking the title pressure. Now they're ducking Europa pressure.
No. Europa were the favourites. Us and Arsenal are the favourites, in my opinion.
I like that.
But we have to be the favourite. But we shouldn't be in a competition like this, bro. That's the thing. So this is why I was saying I don't know what people are on about. When I said it the other day, when I said I said it to you, like, this isn't success to me. People are saying, oh, this ain't the United of old. Mate, we were in the Champions League this season. Why would I see the Europa League as a successful season? We weren't meant to be in the competition.
Speak to the Oli point, because I felt that was a really interesting point in terms of the way you articulated that Europa League success would be a success for Oli, but in terms of Manchester United as a club, it's not. Speak to that.
Yeah, because obviously it gets over the hurdle of he hasn't won a trophy at Man United. It gets over the hurdle of these semi-finals he loses. Obviously right now he's got the bottler tag. He ain't been there. He ain't done it. All of that type of stuff. It's going to be great for him. And it'll be great for him to go to the board and be like, look, I've got a Europa, and let's say we won the FA Cup. I don't know. Any of these trophies, not really big to me, but I've done this and I've done that. So this is why you should back me or whatever. It'll look good for him. But for Man United, it's a Europa League in a competition that we're not meant to be in because we were in the Champions League. So for anyone saying, oh, but you're a Europa team, we were in the Champions League. So it's not a competition we should really be in. We didn't walk into the season saying, I want to win the Europa, did we? So no. FA Cup, I've seen LVG get sacked on the day he won the FA Cup. Literally on the evening. Bro. He didn't even I'm sure he wasn't even home yet. He got sacked. Jose Mourinho, I've seen him win the Europa League and I've seen him another season finish second and we weren't pleased. So I don't see why people are now just trying to push, like, this is what I mean by a lot of people's standards have just reduced. They now think, oh, second is a great season and a Europa League title. It's not.
In those
it's
people,
an average
though,
season.
does that not include your board as well?
Or is that, sorry?
Does that not include your board as well? Those people that you're saying, because it
does.
sounds like it's the fans you're saying. But
yeah, it does.
If the board are willing to accept that from Oli and renew his contract and say, "Yo, we're gonna back you again in the summer," is that not your board accepting that you're not that title pushing team anymore and you're just happy to be top four and as long as we get a domestic trophy here and there, we're still keeping our silverware ticking along.
The thing is, on paper, it looks like progress. That's the thing. On paper, it looks like progress, but to me, it's not great progress because I keep saying next season I expect Chelsea to come stronger. Like, that's how Chelsea operate, and they're probably going to give him shitloads of money this summer as well. Liverpool, are they really going to be this bad next season? I really doubt it. I don't see the progress enough. You see now, if the Kane campaign comes through, now all of a sudden...
Do you know what's going to be so funny?
Yeah. 1 second, hold that thought though.
Hold that thought though. Credit if United
hold that thought though. And this is what I wanted to ask you. I know you can't see you doing much underneath Ole. If Ole was to win this Europa League and he gets back and you did sign Kane, do you think that is enough for him to take you to compete for a title?
No. United need.
Yeah.
No. Wait. Hold on. You think Harry Kane and just we need signings, bro. Harry Kane just in this team we're not gonna compete. We still need upper. We ain't got right winger. We ain't got a defensive
he ain't gonna sign then.
For me, we need 4 signings. We need 4 signings. That's
especially
what I'm saying.
if Pogba decides to leave as well.
No. Obviously, everything of what I'm saying is.
What, I'll stay under million, then, man?
Yeah.
Who? Yeah. All I'm gonna say, let me say, I've said for a time Man United need 4 signings. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is Harry Kane is one of them signings who, and I've even seen in the media now, United are looking to potentially go for a Neto instead of a Sancho because it'll be half the price, and that'll free up money for the campaign. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So for me, we need 4 signings. We need a right winger, a striker, a defensive mid, and a centre back. And if we get that, Oli or not Oli, we should have a title charge, in my opinion. But we'll see. If we get Harry Kane into this team, we will still be behind Man City, and I think we'll still be pushing in the same position that we are now. We might close the gap a little bit, but we won't. I don't think we'll have a significant title charge.
January?
Yeah, about January the 12th.
Kane's goals.
January the 12th, we were top of the league, and then from there, we won 3 in 12 or something like 3 in 8 games or something. But don't worry, Kane goals might fill that void. You know what I mean?
United campaign I heard about was 21 and 21.
Boy,
that's all I'm saying. They move in silence now, boy.
Spurs fans trying to flip the L.
Hey, listen. We'll see where this campaign goes.
We'll see this campaign with our sloppy seconds of a manager. Don't kill me, man.
Before we go into
kill me, bruh.
Before we go into
about to take your best player. Heritage is about to repeat, just like we took Berbatov, Sheringham, Carrick. It's about to happen again. It's happened again. Hey, listen.
What? Fergie days are happening again.
Watch your
Fergie days are happening again.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
Fergie days happening again.
I'm telling you, because that campaign is on its way, boy. I'm telling you now.
Watch this space.
Yeah, we will. We will watch this space.
Before we go into like England and stuff like that.
That day is gonna be glorious. When I walk into this studio with a Kane, what number is he gonna wear at my club? Kane 9, Kane 7.
What, Martial?
What should we give him?
Hold on, what? You ain't gonna strip Golden Boy.
Who, Martial? Hey, bro, we might throw him as part of a swap deal. Yeah, I mean, you guys can have him.
No,
yeah, I mean,
no thanks.
Martial plus 50 mil.
No more croissants on this side, please.
Maybe give you Dan James or something.
Oh my gosh. Before we go into England and that stuff, Champions League draw happened, and because you just touched on Champions League now, you were saying that. Oh, both of you guys were saying actually that it's probably the best draw you've seen in a long time, right?
Yeah, I think that was a lit draw.
Yeah,
I like it.
Bayern PSG, like that's the only thing I'm disappointed about is that what I thought could be the final again. It's that early, but
it's a reoccurring theme that the final doesn't look as exciting as the semi.
Yeah.
Or the quarterfinal.
That's why we never got El Clasico final, man.
Yeah.
I always think the Madrid-Liverpool games always in Europe turn up as well.
Yeah. No, for me that game is an interesting one because Liverpool don't have anything to fight for. So for them, well, they kind of do, but this is going to be like...
This is going to be,
for them as well in their heads, I think they're looking at it and being like...
Even Madrid it might be, though.
Yeah.
Even
Madrid are...
They're what? 3 points behind Atletico got a game in hand as well.
They're still in it.
They're still in it.
Atletico got a bottle in it as well.
Yeah, they're still in it.
You reckon?
Yeah, they are.
No, well, at the moment they're bottling it. I don't know if they're going to.
No,
but it was like 11 points with 2 games in hand.
You don't need to change it. They're
slowly
bottling.
been
That's
crumbling.
why when we were playing them, I said they've been conceding more goals recently, so it was a good time. They've not been since the turn of the year. They've not been what they were at the beginning. So, but Chelsea, I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better draw. Like, let's be real. Like, everyone would have probably wanted Porto, and then to kind of escape those other teams on the other side, it's a good draw. It's now about not being complacent.
But that's what I was gonna say.
That's what
Juve
Bro, there's always one team who do something. Dortmund, Leipzig,
Ajax,
Leon. We've seen it countless times. So when I was seeing Chelsea fans celebrating, I was like, all right, you can be happy with a draw, but they start overlooking. They start talking about all English semis.
Nah, it's not a gone conclusion.
Last time we sacked our manager mid-season in Europe.
The thing is, and
2012.
What I had to point out quickly was, sometimes, take yourself out of your club fan hat, and look at the draw as it is, If you're looking at any of the teams, that are in there, Chelsea are not free scoring at the moment. We scored 3 against Atletico. We scored 1 in the last minute. We're not free scoring. Like, Dortmund concede goals, but they bang them in. PSG, Bayern, City, all these teams bang goals. Our forwards are not really eating like that.
Yeah.
So if Porto are looking at a draw and thinking, if the team doesn't really score and we can do so, they might look at Chelsea and be like,
bro, they thoroughly deserved to beat Juventus as well. It wasn't they got like
Don't get me wrong, Juventus were fluffing about. Juventus were fluffing about. It shouldn't have been that, but Porto deserved to go through.
Yeah,
but let's be realistic. Juventus.
Yeah, and in the second leg,
it
was. But it was a defensive clinic. That's football.
Defensive clinic. And even on the counter, the Marega was a problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if there's one team,
Marega was causing havoc, bro.
If there's one team that you're looking at that you're thinking, can we make them not score? You're probably looking at Chelsea. Let's be real. I'm not even trying to like sugarfoot around it. That's the reality. You're probably looking. We could try and stop these guys from scoring. So it makes for an interesting tie. But Chelsea. There shouldn't be any complacency there. They shouldn't.
Porto have history, except for you lot taking all their players and Jose.
Couple finals. But it was nothing major.
Oh, okay.
Battle of Jose, innit?
Number 10, Anderson.
Them post Jose,
But no, it's a good tie. I mean, the semi-finals for what they could be.
I think it's a great tie.
Do you think your chances are of the big is? You think there's any real? You could potentially be dark horses.
Chelsea should be favourites to go to the final. Chelsea should be favourites to go to the final.
On what premise?
What do you mean on what premise?
No, as in like
they think they've overlooked Porto already.
No,
they're in the semis now.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in the semis.
They're in the semis playing Madrid or
thingy.
Liverpool.
And don't they convincingly think they're better than Liverpool this season?
They've beat us this season.
But do you think you're better than Liverpool?
Right now, we're better than them.
So then you're the favourites to go to the final.
Nah, that's not how knockout football works.
Hold on.
You guys are the favourites.
Hold on. I'm just saying, you think you're better than Liverpool? You think you're better than Liverpool?
Right now, we are, yeah.
Okay,
but that doesn't mean you go through.
Just the way I think Man United are better teams than the rest of the guys in Europa. So I'll say we're favourites to get to the final.
So you're winning the Europa.
Chelsea winning the Champions League?
No, I'm not saying Chelsea are winning the Champions League. You're favourites to get to the final.
But why is everyone overlooking Real Madrid? I'm confused.
No. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to it. For me, I'm just saying you're favourites to win because that's what you're saying.
No, but why? I didn't say that.
Do you think you're better than Real Madrid?
Boy, Real Madrid got heritage of the cup, you know. I can't say we're better than them.
Bro, Liverpool and Madrid both got heritage.
I can't say we're better than them. And I can't. We're performing well. And
game by game.
I like Chelsea fans shy away from the pressure.
No, don't get me wrong. There's no complacency, but what you have to be realistic about, is we haven't seen a bad moment with Tuchel yet. Everything's been smooth sailing. We're going to lose a match eventually. And I want to see what happens then. That's me being so real with you. The 2 moments that you can't win every game, of course, but the 2 moments that I felt like we should have been doing stuff.
Yeah.
Southampton, they lost 6 games. We couldn't capitalise. Leeds, they were in bad form. We didn't capitalise. Of course, you can't win every game, but this is the reality of the situation. I expect us to go through against Porto. Liverpool, Madrid, we see what happens when we get there. Because, boy, I don't know, you know. Right. Hazard might come and start moving mad, you get me? So
Hazard needs the rest out for the season.
Listen, for me,
I hear what you're saying.
I think it's a good draw.
Yeah.
I think it's a good draw all round. Like, everyone's talking about Man City. They're like, let's remember the teams that knocked out City are Lyon, Spurs, Monaco, and the Liverpool. And that was even Liverpool's prime team. So people are just overlooking
at home as well.
Yeah, everyone's overlooking Dortmund. I'm telling you right now, it would not surprise me if Dortmund scored 2-3 goals at Etihad.
But I'm worried about them conceding.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I'm worried about them conceding.
Yeah, they'll concede, but listen, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Dortmund are bleeding.
They can't defend.
Man.
It's knockout. This is what I'm saying. It's knockout football.
Yeah, no.
One thing is, luck comes into lockout football a lot.
100%.
No way.
But this is the
all right, there's no way. Really, would you have said that the last 4 years? You would have said there's no way.
Against Lyon.
Exactly. Last 4 years, you would have said there's no way.
Anything can happen.
Spurs went to the Etihad and scored 3.
No. I can see Dortmund scoring.
Away goals.
100%. No. What you guys are saying is 100% right. The main factor with this year is, of course, I said with the Porter thing, if Chelsea don't score, Porter will be thinking, no, we're in this. But with Dortmund and their defensive record,
City always score. What about Leon? No one would have thought Leon would win.
But this is why. No,
would you have thought Spurs are going to win?
Something about Pep this year, man.
We
No,
say
I'm
this
not
every
even
year.
getting it down to that.
Every year the quadruple is on at this point of the season.
It's our
and it never
I think
comes
it's our conversation
You
in
know
the
what I'm
group chat. We haven't mentioned it here. What you said about shootout football, as in gung-ho football, there's some credence to that. I don't know if you want to elaborate on it, but I think there can be some credence there in terms of, can City withstand the pressure of going into a shootout where a team says, you know what, we're going to go and try and score 6. Can City live with that?
Yeah, this season they've shown their defensive
No,
record.
but in Champions League, historically,
I think
that was your point.
Last year against Madrid was the first time where I was like, yo, the Lyon game caught me off guard, where I was like, but I think that was also benefited by the one leg knockout system that was in last year as well. Let's not deny that.
That wasn't the one leg.
No,
that was two
was
legs.
that-
was that last year?
That was 2 legs because COVID. No, it was 2 legs. That was 2 legs. They beat them in home and away. No, it's not home and away, but they beat them in the tie. It was 2 legs at that point, and then it went to
And then
1
he
leg.
went to thing.
Weren't it
Yeah.
post-COVID?
No.
City were already out.
Shit.
By the time we got 1 leg.
So you know what
Chelsea
it
had to
is?
play the double leg as well.
I
remember?
don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You guys played the double leg against Bayern.
We got 7-1, boy.
Yeah.
We got that 7.
Yeah.
Like I think it
Chelsea,
was Bayern
Bayern.
and Chelsea. Still had one.
Two
leg
legs.
Yeah, we had the
left.
7 piece. Oh my
Bro,
gosh.
you gotta remember,
Quarterfinals, there were still 2 legs.
Yeah.
You gotta remember with it, it's knockout football. If you concede, of course, I'm not saying Dortmund. I've not said Dortmund are gonna win. I'm just saying it would not
Don't rule them
surprise
out.
me.
Yeah, don't rule them out,
if
yeah.
Dortmund score goals away, like the way people are just going on, bro. They have the second most potent striker at the moment in the game, bro. We can't just sleep on him. All of a sudden, what?
Against Bayern, against Sevilla.
He
There was
scores
another league
goals.
match the week after the Bayern one where they were like
defense.
2-3-0 up, and they
defense.
just they finished the game 4-2 or 3-2, and I'm just like, yo, you man are just
They
you're
just-
waiting.
and
It's almost
high
like you want to
energy,
make
innit?
it exciting for the fans, so the neutrals can say, hey,
It's gonna be sick ties in my opinion. That's what I'm saying. I just
Yeah,
don't think there's
yeah,
any
yeah.
tie that I look at and I'm like, oh, that's a foregone conclusion. Yes, there's favourites, but I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. Liverpool, Madrid is interesting. Liverpool are my dark horses to win it, but
What, Istanbul hat?
yeah, not even
That's all the
Istanbul. I
feeling.
just feel like, out of your, they've been first of all, they've been good
trying to
in
get
Europe.
Liverpool fans back on.
They've
side.
nah. It's just I've just had a feeling they've been good in Europe. They've been good in Europe this
Have they?
season. Yeah.
What's your kind of like parameter for good?
What have they done wrong in Europe?
They weren't great in the group stages.
Yeah.
What didn't they top their group?
Yeah, but if you watch their matches, don't look at just the score. They weren't great.
I don't think it's been bad this season in Europe.
No,
They
'cause you said-
comfortably
it's 'cause you said
they
great. That's what I was
comfortably
saying
got
about
through
it.
Leipzig, didn't they?
What do you mean they're handling business?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
It's not looking like what it was in the
Leipzig was
league.
No, I hate it. It's because when you
contrast.
said great, I was like, okay, Leipzig they blew away, but the rest of it's been all right.
I think it's been calm for them. I think maybe because we're looking at the games and they might have lost that, but that's football. I mean,
no, I'm
they've
not
got
even
through
looking
their-
at that. I just feel like their performances have been aight.
What when
That
Joe
Leipzig
was
good.
scoring hat tricks away from home in Europe and that? What you guys talk? I
What was
don't
that,
get
the first game.
I don't know.
first
You
group
guys are
game or
talking
something?
like they've been horrible in
No,
Europe. I don't
like-
know what's going on
It's
there.
that enough of them, that random team.
Yeah, they've just
Let me
like
see.
because remember it was in and around their whole
Mm.
Premier League sort of stuff, innit?
Yeah.
Like,
I
they've
don't
been-
think they were going through bad form in Europe. Let's
No,
see.
No, I'm not saying they've been bad. I'm just saying when you said great, I was like, what's your parameter?
Who's your favourites?
Of course, I want us to win. Of course, I want Chelsea to win the Champions
Bro,
League.
Liverpool lost one game in Europe, man. Come on, guys.
No, I'm just saying when you said great, I'm not disputing what you said. I just said I thought great was like a okay. Like if you said good, I'd
That
been like,
Bayern have been great in Europe.
yeah. Do you get what I mean?
They've
Like,
been
I'm not
battering people.
disputing what you said. It's just the term. I was like,
He's
great
trying to
seems
be.
great.
I told you, man. He's trying to win over the Liverpool fans.
You guys are exaggerating it massively. Liverpool had 13 points, 10 goals conceded, 3. How is that bad in Europe?
No, I'm just saying
They
when
were
you said
good.
great.
That's very certy.
I'm talking about for when I watched the games. I feel like they were good.
Well, I don't know. I think you guys are. I think you're
Performance-wise,
nitpicking a
I
little
don't
bit.
think they've blown anyone away, really and truly. Except for
Leipzig,
the Leipzig
yeah.
game where they looked
You-
super
I think you understand what I'm saying. It's just the word.
And Leipzig, I
think
thought, were underperforming
our uses of the word great are probably different. I get where you're coming from though, but
All right, but yeah, I think they've been good.
So that's your dark horse,
They've been
yeah?
good. And then
Who's your
they've-
favourites?
The favourites has to be Bayern because they're the best team in the world at the moment. But I think Liverpool can do it. I think Liverpool can do it. I hope they don't. I hope Real Madrid do it. But
Those locals, senior European correspondent, in order to defeat Bayern, what does a team have to do from what you've seen this season?
Bro, I don't know.
their
I
defense is
actually don't
needy
know.
though.
Their defense, yeah, I think
Yeah,
their defense can be
of course.
got at.
Yeah.
And I think PSG are deadly enough in attack to get at them. I just hope PSG don't treat this like the final where they treat them with too much respect and kind of actually go at them. It's over 2 legs. Anything can go. PSG have
are
shown.
gonna be up for it.
I hope so. I think Poch just kind of instilled a bit of life into them. So if he can kind
And it
of
should be Mbappe, Neymar, right?
Yeah, Neymar's back.
Neymar's back as well. So that should be a massive.
I
boost.
feel like that game though is that game is an important one in terms of midfield though.
It's an important one for Ballon d'Or as well, bro.
You say?
Interesting shout.
It's an important one for the Ballon d'Or as well. This game potentially.
Interesting shout.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. I think PSG they can beat them though. Let's not see.
Right.
They can beat them. Their defense is meaty. Bayern Munich at the moment.
Who'd you say?
So
Lewandowski, I would say right now is leading.
No, but who else is around them? Because you're saying that game's important for it.
Mbappe. I think if PSG win the Champions League, of course, his name will be in it. You got to remember, Euros is coming around as
Yeah.
well. France as well could do a
Haaland's not Euros, isn't it?
Nah,
no.
unfortunately.
Are Poland in the Euros?
It should be.
Lewandowski at international stage. Brother, if you watch World Cup, Euros, listen. Was it Groshiki and Milik? Was it last time's the ones turning up? Yeah, Lewandowski weren't doing nothing, man. He's a stat padder in the qualifiers. I can't lie. He's a bit like a Van Persie.
Oh no, Poland are in the Euros still. Boy, Slovakia, Spain, and Sweden. Good luck. Boy.
Might have to
I'll
buck
be watching
Zlatan,
closely.
yeah?
Huh?
Might have to buck
I don't even know
Zlatan
why
back as well now.
I don't even know
Yeah.
why Zlatan's doing that. But
Boy.
anyway,
They should have.
that's a
Right.
perfect
They should have
segue.
rejected Zlatan.
Perfect segue into no, they called him. He didn't declare himself. They called him up.
Dumb
So
Man said Zlatan is selected.
you're dumb. Perfect segue into the England squad. Of course, no Trent was that the big headline. Watkins first call up, Sam Johnston first call up. Watkins has never been called up at any.
Why did you
international
hype
stage.
up that Sam Johnston call up? By the way,
No,
that was the most random thing I've ever seen.
No, it's
Do you know what?
cool
He-
for him.
Do you know what
Maze
he
is trying to-
couple saves.
Maze was like
he's
doing
like
up
saying
like
him
on Sam
Carl
Johnston
Darlow.
posts. I was like, what? I was like, what's going on there, fam?
couple saves, innit?
I was like, this is random. I think I commented LOL or something.
No, because his first call up. You know, goalkeepers that you might get like 1 or 2.
I was
innit?
like, Hailer. This is the industry now, boy.
Yeah,
No, you know with goalkeepers, yeah, you might get like.
interview lined up,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know who's next already.
You man are dumb. You know with goalkeepers, yeah, you might get like a young 3 or 4 in it.
Yeah.
So for him to get, it's like, all right, cool, because you're not gonna go to the tournament.
Nah,
so to
he's
get your
at
qualifiers-
West Brom. I know he's been like
He's
every season you get one kind of bottom half keeper that's pulling off the 15
Well,
saves a
yeah.
game, yeah, and he's
him.
keeping his team from being 6-0 down instead of
Yeah.
3-0 down type of
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah, you
let him
understand.
get his
He's
due.
trying.
He's the only
Like
one kind
Ramsdale,
of.
innit, for Bournemouth last
No,
season.
Ramsdale weren't trying.
nah,
man.
What?
nah.
Last
Ramsdale-
season, Ramsdale was made
Ramsdale
the
weren't
most
trying.
saves in the Premier League.
Ramsdale hype.
No. He was making the most saves because he was facing like.
Yeah, that's
That
what
was
I'm
like
saying. That's
pick
what I'm
for
saying.
that Sunderland was another one I remember.
Yeah.
Or Fabianski at Swansea was one I remember as well. Them man who were just getting 50 shots a game. So, but
Yeah.
credit to him. I thought I don't know how Eric Dyer is still getting called up into this team. There has been nothing.
Favourites.
There has been
Favourites.
nothing to
Favourites.
indicate. But I mean,
Favourites.
like Ezra Konsa was one who minced out, who's done well
We'll
this
we'll
year.
go into Consa, but what before I was gonna say, speaking on Dyer being there, Shaw, Stones, and Lingard are back, so sort of like his sort of people that he's had in the squad before.
I think he don't. I don't know. I think Shaw got one
No, but
call
Shaw.
up in,
Sorry,
2018
correction.
or
What I
something
mean is
like
Shaw has been in the international picture before.
Yeah.
So he's back. I think Lingard's first time back for 2 years.
Yeah.
Stones has been in the international picture. He wasn't in there last time. Sorry, I don't mean Southgate himself. I mean these
All
guys
his
are back
initial
within the
favourites.
squad. So Saka's in there as a forward. What's your thoughts on the squad? Of course, it's just the qualifiers. It's not the
Yeah, I
squad that's
mean-
going.
Two of England's best players are injured, so that's not great. And then you've got. The thing is, with the Trent one, there was an outrage at the Trent one, but Trent doesn't deserve the call up at the moment, man. I'm sorry, it's just as simple as that. He hasn't had a good season. We already know Trips is.
He's been out for
is-
3 months though.
Yeah, but Trips is his guy. And
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, of all the guys that play for England, Trips is probably one of his only reliable players.
Yeah.
So I'll allow Southgate with that one because Trips was England's best player at the World Cup.
I always
You
feel
know
like
what I
at
mean?
internationals as well, you can get them players who are good for country consistently. if that makes sense. I
Exactly.
remember,
What, close
Germany used to have that
Bro.
concept. Bro, Podolski. Podolski was another
Thank
one. He used to
you.
be
That's
awful
a
at
shout.
club. Would go and put the
Bro,
Germany shirt and look.
Nearly
Bro.
every season, Mario Gomez will outscore Closer, but Closer is the one that plays
Always,
because he's
yeah.
the international guy. For me, Trips is fine for him there. Walker, I understand his inclusion at the moment. And who was the other one? Reece James.
Yeah.
They've all, other than Trippier, because obviously he's been he had the ban. They've outperformed Trent. So England are stacked at right back.
And if I'm not mistaken, Trent has never been like the starting guy
under Southgate
Southgate
even
ever.
in his peak form.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. I don't think it should be as crazy because it is the most stacked position as well.
Exactly.
Do you feel like
people are comparing it with Dyer? Like, how can Dyer get called up but Trent doesn't? There's inconsistency. I see Lescott say it the other yesterday. I hear what he's saying, but England's position of right back is where they try and say they're blessed at the moment. In the centre half position, you've got
Stones, Maguire.
Godfrey, who would be somebody that tries. Konsa. And those are probably the two ones.
Yeah.
Inexperienced, innit? That's what it is, really. He's probably I am not backing the Dyer call up, by the way, but I'm just saying this is probably his thinking behind it.
Let me give you a rebuttal to that. I guess because it is qualified for the World Cup, cool. But you are playing like San Marino and someone else.
When is the perfect time to give them experience?
It's one that's that for
this
me.
This is a young squad, you know. How many debutants and stuff do England want every single?
But what I'm trying to say is based on what you're saying, how many times have you seen an international manager call it a debutant for the actual tournament? Very rare. I think World Cup was one. It's very rare that you get debutants for the actual tournament. So in this sort of qualifier now is the time where I'll kind of see if you kind of, bring people in.
Ain't that the situation Grealish was in last year before the Euros? He wasn't capped.
Yeah.
So and then people were like, is he going to get called up to the Euros? Southgate still hasn't selected him.
Yeah. But I would thought, that's perfect. I would think that you would use your qualifiers as a chance to kind of get them in around the squad. And then you can have a look at them closer. Yeah, I get that. Maybe bring them on the camp, see what they're like. But in terms of like, this guy should be playing for England. Like, I'm
people saying like, for example, like, okay, Konsa has been probably one of the outstanding.
People say
English, bro, he's been better than Mings this year.
Easily better than Tyrone Mings. But it's one of those ones where, all right, Grealish on inexperienced at international level, Saka, Maddison, Jadon Sancho, Reece James. I mean, how many people England are going to take a camp of 30 of inexperienced guys?
Spain did, where you're bringing a bunch of guys through who are all roughly around the same age, and that kind of becomes, even if one or two or three are going to fall out, but it's kind of a generational crop that you're bringing through together.
That one's slightly different because that happens from the under-21s. We can move on to under-21 shortly, but I feel like those crops
have a lot of these boys not play together at under-21 level.
No, not really. The under-21 was really disjointed for them.
Now, when you look at it...
Sorry, bro, just a quick one. Even if you look at Germany, what Germany did recently, remember their whole thing was their... What's that? Is it Confederations?
Confederations Cup, yeah.
Yeah, that whole squad.
Where they basically played a B team.
Yeah, that became the A team.
was captain.
Yeah, that became the A team. So there was some sort of succession where you're together. England have never really done it. Like what you've mentioned with Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham, you say that he should be in there. I kind of say that I get it because he's going to play.
I didn't say he should be in there.
No, you're saying that he should be with the under-21s.
Too soon, didn't you?
Yeah, you're saying that he should be. When I say that, you're saying that he should be with the under-21s. The argument is almost because he's playing Champions League, he's getting man of the match, he's a key man in his squad, he should be there. But typically, if it was any other nation, you would build that under-21s together. They would dominate, they would win trophies, then you'd come to the first team.
Have you seen France's under-21?
Stacked.
Bro, full of first teamers. Full of guys playing in the Champions League, and it's like, bro, we don't care.
Yeah,
our first team is stacked. You're not going to wait your turn. If you're under 21, you're playing for the under.
The problem is England's best players always end up being our younger players.
Yeah.
The senior guys are whack. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens.
This country's just in love with fucking hyping youngsters.
We haven't got
billion.
But this is the question.
Breaking them down.
That's the truth.
This country loves doing that.
Yeah, that's a fact. But when you actually let's look at the guys 25 and over for England right now.
Yeah,
they're whack.
So this is tell you what.
Kane.
This is.
Harry Kane's a baller.
Yeah.
Over 25. Harry Maguire, Sterling,
Henderson,
Jordan Henderson. That's not my cup of tea. Oh, get the hell out of here, bro! They're better than Jack Grealish, Jadon Sancho, Saka. All these men are better.
Grealish.
What are you talking about?
You can't say Maguire and Grealish. One's a defender. That's what I mean.
No, okay, all right.
You're talking about. You're not talking about. You're talking about ability, right?
What England's senior players are not that good. That's all I'm saying. They're not that good.
I can hear.
You look at these
what
players.
you're saying.
You're
talking about the youngers are better. Yeah, I can hear.
The younger players, the guys that are all 25 and under, where England's Declan Rice's and all these guys are starters, bro. These are the better players. That's England's problems. Whereas if you go with Spain, Thiago can play under 21 because Xavi and Iniesta are there. You're not getting into that.
But now it's changed because look
Now
at the
it's
Spain
changed.
squad.
But I don't see England
Brian
senior
Gillian,
pros as that good. Look, Jesse Lingard's called back in. He's one of the senior pros. Eric Dyer's called back. He's one of the senior pros. Is there much difference right now between Kyle Walker, Trippier, Reece James, and Trent? There's not. So England's senior pros ain't lit like that. They're just
No,
not.
I heard the point you're making,
That's
but
all it is.
this is the probably
In
So
my
you're saying
opinion.
there's no harm then in going with the kids.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jordan,
So then-
how old is Jordan Pickford? 27, 26?
or something like that.
Probably over 25.
He's been around a
Is he
while,
that much
yeah.
better than Dean Henderson and Nick
No, the
Pope?
point you make is
No,
right,
not
but
really.
this is the question I
Pope
want
was
to ask.
28 himself, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry, I should have just
it's
said Dean
Henderson.
Hendo.
It's
Yeah.
Hendo. The question where Anna go to is
Pope.
England's
Pope's
young
not bad,
crop,
though. I like him.
England's young crop of players, so the under 21s and the people that kind of flirting around that age.
Mm.
Where do you think that ranks in the world? I hear your point about it's a lot of the time that
What's the
overhyped.
squad? Let's get
I'll
the
be
squad
real
up.
with you.
I'm not just talking just
be,
the under 21 squad. I'm talking about like the ones that in the first
if
team.
we're talking
Oh.
like, I would say even if you're 23 and under,
That's
I would
what I'm
say
talking about.
they've arguably got the best. I would say
You
England.
you
think
say
about
that,
it.
best?
Yeah.
You think about it.
I would say
What about France?
them and France are neck and neck, but I would say
Neck and neck?
I would say England actually individually. I had the fucking list, but I deleted it. But they had
Let's
more
just read it off
names
head.
where I was like
Foden is someone that's
Yeah.
in the first
I
team.
forgot about Foden.
Sancho,
Sancho.
Trent.
If England wanted to,
How is Rashford? 23.
Yeah.
I would put him in there.
Bellingham, if you want to include
Bellingham,
him.
if you want to clean it. If you
Declan
want,
Rice.
Reece
yeah,
James.
those are the first teamers.
Mhm.
If you want to go into the
Reece
under
James.
21s,
Yeah.
I'll just read out the attackers. Greenwood, Odoi, Madueke, Nketiah, Smith Rowe. In the midfield, you got Eze, Gallagher, Jones. I won't read the rest. You got Max Aarons, Godfrey.
Bam.
Like, where do you think that ranks in the world? Because I
But
What
then
you
at
fancy is
the
interesting.
same
When I look at
time
the
as well, the one thing I will say as well is with the England under 20, we might see them more because whereas
That's
the France and
100%.
the Spain's under 21s, because they're playing second division or in the B team or whatever, we might not know as much as them. So we might think personally. When I looked at the names, I was like, do you know what? England is definitely up there. They've definitely got, I feel like, a good maybe 9 or 8 players that I feel like will actually become top players. I think France is there. I think Portugal's another one as well.
Yep.
Portugal has a
Neto,
nice,
all of
yeah.
them, man.
I think
Fabio
Germany
Silva.
is one that's struggling at the minute. Aside from Musiala and Florian Wirtz, they don't really have a lot coming through, and they might be going through kind of like a dry spell over the next couple of years. But I think England definitely
England's
is
England's
top 2, top 3.
I was about to say Havertz.
Havertz, yeah, but I mean Havertz. Sorry, 3 names, and Niehaus is it at Mönchengladbach? They
Well,
ain't got many coming
how
through,
does-
bro. Look,
I
it
can't
up,
lie,
telling you.
I'm not too versed on the German one apart from the
Yeah.
4 names. I have to be honest there. But
With England, the thing about England is because it's at the moment it's gone completely like different to what it was in the past, because in the past it was these young English players are not getting exposure at all.
Yeah.
And now all these young English players
playing.
have exposure. They're playing. We said all these names. We didn't
key
even mention
component.
Mason Mount.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm trying
yeah.
to say?
Fam.
Another one. So if you look at England's, they're all getting exposure. I think there's some names that maybe we're forcing a little bit, like Conor Gallagher. He's not ready for that.
no,
You know what
I
mean?
was
We're
reading the
kinda
names.
just-
I was reading
yeah,
the
I
names
mean,
in the team.
yeah.
I'm not saying
You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
why, no.
Yeah, we're
I was
just
reading the
hype.
No, I
Yeah.
was reading literally.
Yeah. Eze as well. Not yet. Not yet.
Trying to throw you under the
Yeah,
bus.
England have the best exposure in it. Like
Yeah.
the players, I think at the moment have the best exposure, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best. But I think there is a really, really good crop of young English players. Big shame is that we haven't got an outstanding. I know Konsa's a baller, Godfrey's good and stuff, but we still haven't. I don't think we got that outstanding young centre half. Yeah,
A-grade
I
centre
don't
back.
think we have that yet, but hopefully it can develop because centre backs get better with age, innit? So you don't really
I'll
say,
say
oh, a 20-year-old centre back is a star boy. Do
27
you?
to 31, 32, you probably see a
It's
centre back.
rare. John Terry was a star boy centre half, and so was Rio.
Sorry,
Rio
do you know
Ferdinand.
what song?
Yes,
Was John Terry a star boy?
John Terry
He
was
wasn't
23
star
year
boy.
old.
I feel like
Wait,
when
let
Desai-
me
when Desai
land.
came through-
John Terry was
That's what I was
John
going
Terry was a starting centre half in his early 20s next to Desai, and was the Chelsea football captain at 23. That's star boy movements.
No, I hear what you're saying,
Chelsea,
but bro,
and he went on to
would
No,
be
no, no.
under
Hey,
23.
he won the title.
one second.
Didn't he win the title in his
What-
first year as captain?
what What?
I think that's the star boy centre half.
Cam, I understand what you're trying to say.
Rio was the star boy. I know
you know
that.
what you have to remember? That,
Rio was an actual
You have to
star
remember
boy.
that these centre backs, and it's a thing for young players in general. They're being honed by A's or big talent. Do you get where I'm coming from? I feel like now we're seeing a lot of young players that are kind of having like Saka at Arsenal. He's having to be big bro. Like a lot of these young players are having to like, and they might be good because they're having to take that responsibility. But a lot of the time when we've seen young talent come through before, they had someone that was kind of nurturing and saying, you know what, learn to do it from this. Like,
that's how it's meant to be.
Off of
Exactly.
That's different class.
Yeah, no, that's that's one of the most frustrating things,
And
bro.
Euros as well, no?
Bro, yeah.
That's one of yeah.
Hey.
So imagine all that knowledge you're learning.
Hey.
Zidane.
And Didier Deschamps,
Yeah.
was he not there as well?
Mhm.
Was Didier Deschamps
Yeah,
not there
yeah.
as well? Oh, mate, he was drinking knowledge.
Bro, it's bruv. When you look at it, what you're saying is true. The young players are having to carry in it. The young players that England have, if you look at them across their teams, they're probably in the top 3 players in their team.
Yeah.
Whereas, it shouldn't necessarily be like that. And some people have suffered from stuff like that. Like the expectation that Callum had to go and do whatever he's doing. Mason Greenwood is another example. I've said many times.
Nelly Rashford.
Someone like Rashford, he's come on the other end. I said many times, somebody like Greenwood, Rashford, and that they need to have senior men that are like, you are the standard. Rooney came through and had standard around him. Giggs, Scholes, Kane. I can say names after names.
Yeah.
When you give it to Greenwood, Saka, I hope it doesn't kill Saka, because soon people are going to start expecting Saka to have a 18 goal, 12 assist season and stuff. Everyone's got to settle down a little bit. That's the only thing. But we've got a good crop coming through, man. 100%.
We might have to revisit because under 21 tournament starts soon. So
how old is Tammy?
Holland,
Tammy's 24.
Crazy. He's not even in the mention no more, man. That's peak.
Boy. Watkins, Bamford. I thought it's because he was injured. I thought
I'm
it was
not
because
in-
he
I'm
injured,
not
but
in
he
the
scored.
Bamford
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
on the
not
Bamford
either.
train
I feel like
still.
Calvert-Lewin.
No, but if you're saying-
there've been other
if
players.
you're
I know
saying by
Calvert-Lewin
merit- but if you're
was
saying
more
by
in the
merit-
first half of the season as well, but he offers a different tool. I feel like.
What I was gonna
Whereas
say is, if
Bamford
you're
is
saying by
more of a
merit,
finisher,
Bamford
and I
is
feel
on
like
track to
Kane
get
offers
20
that.
goals this season.
But does Gareth Southgate necessarily do everything by merit, though?
No, I'm just saying, if you're saying by merit, I
Bro,
don't
there was
think
a
it is.
time that Smalling was England's best centre half. He didn't care. He didn't care. He didn't call up Smalling because he straight up said he doesn't care.
I remember this.
You know
And I
I'm
was
laughing.
right. And I was right. I was right when I said it.
Shameless.
Hey, I was right.
It was just another way to claw back something you said and say, "Yo, remember when I said that?"
He didn't
Listen,
care. Smalling was balling at Roma.
That's
He didn't
funny,
even
man.
care.
That's funny, but quickly, let's
Wan-Bissaka,
do-
but we'll get into that next.
We'll
week.
We'll get into Wan-Bissaka and a few other things next week. Champ and have you noticed that this has become a conversation since we had it now about players going back to play when everything? It's become a conversation now. But need I say more? Champ and Dud of the week. Who have we got?
Can I go first?
Go on, production.
I got 2, but the first one I got to mention is my boy, who's always late, Fuad Kadani. He didn't show up to work for Los Locos.
Yeah.
After Spurs lost, didn't show up to work the next day. Threw a tantrum in the group chat.
Overslept.
Threw big tantrums in the
Why are we
group
lying?
chat.
Yeah.
That's just lying.
Brother, you're the
Are you
biggest
lying now?
stud of the week. bro.
And you lied.
And
apparently you lied.
Yeah,
And you
no,
lied.
I didn't even get there yet. To top it off, this is this boy's week.
This is criminal.
He
That was criminal. I can't lie.
lied
That was
about
criminal. That was criminal still. I can't lie. I won't even take that. I'll take criminal of the week for that one.
He tried to
Hey.
ruin Cam's channel.
Bro, yeah, I mean,
I'm guilty.
bro, that is
I'm guilty as
you're
fuck.
definitely the dud of the week.
Yeah,
100%.
I'll take that.
100%.
That's
And for taking Jose way out of your boy's bio.
yeah.
Nah.
How quickly did you do that?
You-
I'm thinking
Do you know
about
what the worst
you
thing
must
was?
have
Do
been
you know what the funny
steaming.
thing was? Nah. Do you know what's so funny?
This-
It's weird that you
might have
know.
deleted everything.
Nah. Before you look at it, it's weird that you noticed it. I removed it months back. When I dropped Spurs Eye View, there was too many. I was like, nah, I need to fit this in. It doesn't. I was like,
Do you know what's so
let
funny?
me. So I took Jose way out and put Spurs Eye View in
You
there. I was
and
like, hey,
James
but you
Redmond
lot
are
just
criminals.
noticed it this week. I was
You
like,
and James Redmond are my criminals because James Redmond went from best player in the world to he's not even world class. You went from Jose Way to nothing. That is.
What am I hold on, wait. Am I supposed to, like, after we get embarrassed in the North London derby and in Europe, still supposed to come out and say,
They kept mentioning
come
it
on,
with me and
let's
Ollie.
not be
They
wrong
didn't-
and strong.
When it was Ollie, you guys kept
What do you
mentioning
mean?
it. When I was saying Ollie Way, Ollie Ball, you guys didn't
Nah,
let me live that down.
nah,
So Jose
nah.
Way, no. Jose Way.
The way you've been
will keep
harassing
speaking
Ollie,
about
yeah,
Jose
you
Way.
distance yourself.
Listen,
nah.
we will keep speaking about Jose Way, but
Oh,
you
man.
coined
Keep saying
that
Jose
phrase,
Way.
fam.
You birthed
Jose's
the
still
name.
my
Go
guy.
give it to the
Jose's
other
still my
Spurs
guy,
YouTubers
man.
now. You might as well give it to them. Let them have
Listen,
it. You know
man,
what I mean?
we share it.
Champ. It has to be the Dinamo manager, surely.
No, there's one more.
I would've
dud,
said
bro.
Orsic.
who's the other dud?
How is Slavia Prague gonna get?
I was just
more
about to
duds?
say that. Yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta take turns, mate.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
of course.
Sorry,
Dud
my bad.
is definitely Slavia Prague. I hope Arsenal give them 20-0, mate.
I hope they get expelled.
Yeah, they should really and truly. They should really and truly.
And to be fair, I'm preempting UEFA for not doing this anything, so they're my duds.
It's like
Yeah.
you can.
I'm preempting them.
You
not
can
doing
see
anything.
the two players have reacted to what my man's gone and whispered over to
the black players
specifically say.
for Slavia Prague didn't even do anything. They probably just thought they probably were like, I'm not backing Donny. Yo, let him go get
Yeah,
slumped.
yeah.
We don't care. Yeah, I mean,
But there is,
But then the fans
allegedly,
with the banner after as well.
Oh
It's
my
like
God.
adding
Yeah, no.
insult to injury. It's
Yeah, that
like
was a
if
massive-
that doesn't get you banned from
Expelled.
the stadium, like
Then-
all this kick it out against racism, say no to racism.
Fam,
UEFA
the
says
authorities
this. It
have to
just
do
says
something.
nothing.
The authorities have to do something.
Mm.
But
This
if-
is what.
if
This
they're-
is what. By the way, you remember last week we was talking about Zaha, how he felt like it was pointless needing him.
Yeah.
This is another prime example where we'll see if all this
what
virtual
happened?
signaling
yeah, no, 100%.
actually counts. For
You're right.
something.
You're right. But if the alleged incident in the tunnel happened,
yeah,
I salute my man.
of course.
I salute my man.
I'll
If
get
the
punched
alleged,
up.
if the alleged incident happened,
And they're
I salute my
snitching.
man.
Yeah, and
They
they're
even know that they're snitching.
that club is finished.
That's funny.
They're snitching.
Yeah.
They're snitching.
Nah, it's true. That club's finished still. That,
No,
club's,
they're
Hey,
done.
that's
They're
funny.
done out here.
That's funny.
that club's finished. They're only known for Henry breaking the Arsenal goal record
That's
against
funny.
them anyway. Oh, was that Sparta?
Wait, say,
Prague?
when
No,
the
when
man
that
rolled
was
up?
the outside of
I
the
think it
boot
was
goal.
Sparta. Was that
That was
Sparta?
Prague, yeah. Sparta Prague.
We only care about them. Prague, yeah, that's the only Prague we care.
Mad. So those are the duds, yeah.
Yeah,
Champs,
I'll give my
Orsic,
champ to.
I gotta give it to, man.
Yeah,
I gotta give it to the hat trick
Number
hero.
99.
But
Yeah.
and for me, it was like the first goal and the third goal.
They were pure.
We're
All
just-
goals were pure quality.
No, but
Just
that's his
this-
number 99.
They would don't
Pro
no
clubs.
Orsic. I have had to learn his name because I was calling Kiev, Zagreb, Kiev. Man, and were like, nah. Orsic, bro.
Yeah,
Two
that
great
was
goals and
three. That was a
hat-trick
great hat trick.
For your manager in prison.
No,
I was doing the
my
said,
my champ is the manager because we were saying he's probably
He
he's
ain't
probably
do shit, man.
No,
That
no,
man
no,
was
no,
going
no,
through
no, no,
processing,
no, no,
bruv,
wait,
man.
wait.
Now they're giving him credit for
Let's
fucking
paint
being a dud.
Let's paint the story like we did last time.
He's a dad still.
He's a dud, bro.
Man got banged up for F. He got banged up for F. I let my team down. Cool. So now they're processing him and that. He's like, right, I need to tell the boys. He's spoken to the cleaner of Soviet. Been listen. Get me the burner. The burner's come. You said he found out about the result by drone.
By drone.
Nah, Maze is adding fiction. Maze is adding
Man said,
fiction.
listen.
You probably only find out from a VO today, fam. You know what I mean? You got, I mean, like, oh yeah, you know. By the way, you know,
They
you guys
done
won.
it for you, you know. They did the celebration as well.
My
shit.
champ, is Gerrard, man. His handling of that situation was good. For the first time, I finally seen a manager fully back their player and fully put his neck on the line, through which at the end of the day, Gerrard will only know as allegations. Gerrard did not hear nothing, but he has said, I trust my man with my life.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do this. I'm with him head to toe. This is bigger than football. And it's good. Somebody, a high profile person like Gerrard in the world of football is good. Now, I don't want to praise a fish for swimming. That's why everyone should do that. You know what I mean? But it's funny. They don't.
Good. It's not.
They
and
don't do it. So
do you know what I found?
Yeah.
Fraser.
You're such an ath-
So yeah. So but big up Gerrard for that, man. That, I
you know
respect
what-
that.
do
Glen
you know what I
Kamara
found?
will feel
Yeah. Do you know what I
amazing
fo-
about that.
Do you know what I found interesting about that whole thing as well? Is a lot of people are trying to bring out previous handling of situations and everything. And like I get it, but you have to look at what's going on right now. This guy's a manager and he's seen something and he's obviously learned from whatever happened before, and he's saying, listen, that can't run anymore. So you know what? It is sad though that a player, if someone's racially abused, their manager has to come out and say he's not the type to lie about it. I find that society is sad.
Yeah,
That's
mad.
the thing. But you know what? Hold tight the champs, hold tight the duds. That's another episode. Hold tight, Manscaped to power in it. And yeah, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff.